A very good evening to you. Thank you for being with us tonight on the Technovation Show. Another Monday, another episode. I'm your host Yvonne Kemuma. Now tonight we attend the Diaspora Tech Partnership Conference. It's a packed conversation, a packed episode, so stay tuned.
I've been involved with Diaspora for a while at Concert Technopolis during the Diaspora Annual Conference held in Kenya. We've worked very closely with the leadership. We've engaged out there with my colleague PS Diaspora. We've also participated in the engagement with the diaspora whenever we travel. And we are able to get very wonderful and insightful feedback from diaspora on what areas we should focus as a country and how we can utilize the diaspora. I see economy, the entire digital space is huge space full of opportunities. Our diaspora are more exposed than many of us here in the country because of they are blessed working with most of these tech companies. You can see most of the players in the digital space are companies from the West. We've had opportunity to take a tour of the Silicon Valley and visited the 8 offices of most of the tech companies. Had sessions with their CEOs, including Intel, Apple, Microsoft, and we were able to interact with Kenyans who are working in those companies. The networks and the exposure our citizens, Kenyans working in diaspora is huge. That's something we want to tap, and we want to tell them we are ready to engage and to partner with you. Also, as we work and engage with these tech companies, we want to see the diaspora playing a key role in some of those initiatives. Kenya is privileged in that we have 93% of our energy being renewable. Global companies are looking how to tick the boxes, how to achieve sustainability. Kenya provides that opportunity. We are looking at how to make Kenya a global data hub. That global data can be hosted in Kenya, processed in Kenya, and turn Kenya into a real digital economy where global digital economy runs. Diaspora can take advantage of this opportunity. We've seen interest and commitment to establish hyperscale data centers in Kenya, taking advantage of our geothermal potential, which currently stands at over 10,000 megawatts. That's a huge opportunity, and we are highlighting that as an area of potential engagement with our diaspora. The business process outsourcing, going back to that area, we have engaged many of the leading global PPO, IT-enabled, IT outsourcing companies. And the lessons they share from what they already done here in Kenya is that the Kenyan talent is top, not only in terms of language, the English speaking, but also their ability to engage beyond the normal requirement of those jobs, whether it's for call center, IT support, software development, and some of the work my brother Humphrey in Nua Center is doing. We've had engagement with these people bringing jobs to Kenya, and the assurance they give us is the quality of talent we have is huge. We have competing destinations like Philippines, India. They've been able to build the ecosystem, their policies, legislations to support that. This is what we are working on as a country, and we see huge opportunities. What we want to tell diaspora, this is an investment areas that you can look at. You could be working for a top company in US, Canada, Europe. You have opportunity to bring that skill that you have and take advantage of the digital hubs that you are building, adopt one, train these young people, and link to that opportunity. Instead of you working as one, you can actually have 100 to 200 young people working with you. And we have diaspora who are already doing that. Humphrey here has 250 250 young people doing amazing jobs, getting young people, graduates of Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, who are trained in photography, video editing, and they are able to serve global clients. That is what we see Diaspora is doing. We have another friend called Joy Lontiti, who runs a company, Pathways, and he's also able to set up a facility here, and he's recruited, I think he started with a small number, probably now he's at 100 young people and offering solutions to global companies. So if we add 1,000 diaspora coming to set up and focusing on software development, IT support, cyber security, and cybersecurity stands a huge opportunity. Humphrey also has just entered that space. Global data shows there is 3.5 million jobs open there. We could reach a level that actually the issue we need to do is just skill the people because the opportunities are there. But diaspora is our best bet to ensure that we unlock the challenge or close the issue of unemployment in Kenya. So that's an area we are looking at. We're also looking at high-tech areas, semiconductor industry. If you look at the value of the semiconductor industry, is huge. We have STL in Dedan Kimathi University. We have Dr. Kitinchi there. He's also a diaspora. He has been able to focus for the last 5-6 years in that space. And out of his work, we were able to achieve a level that no other African country has achieved for Kenya to be designated as a semiconductor partner to the US and to be able to benefit from the CHIPS Act of the US. There are very few countries to achieve that level. Countries like Costa Rica, Vietnam, and now Kenya, the only one in the African continent. We are now working to see how do we unlock this. And you realize we have challenge on the talent. We need diaspora who are working in some of these top companies and see how do we accelerate Kenya's journey in the semiconductor industry, electronic industry, because this is a premium space. And we focus on diaspora, we will see a shift in our exports. Currently, when we talk of our exports, we talk of coffee, tea, and similar products. But with the engagement with diaspora, very soon semiconductors will contribute to our exports, electronics products will contribute to our exports, and many such high-tech products. So I would close by saying those are the opportunities we are looking to work with our diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you, Piers.
Dr. Ouma, as we say that technology is an emerging opening space every day with new opportunities. And I spoke earlier on of how we have leveraged on technology in health, in billing, in land management. But at the end, I said we are having a conversation with the MA diaspora in the US to talk about data, because we know the new direction this technology is taking and decision is taking is going to be a lot to do with data-driven decision making. In the process, we began a conversation of how do we begin to introduce young learners, children in early schooling. As you know, the mandate of county government in education is in ECD, early childhood development, in tertiary at the TVETs. And so it is a conversation that it is at the still raw stage, but the conversation has begun. Because of that diaspora engagement, and because of the exposure the diaspora have on the other side, we are sure that it is going to evolve to become a very big thing for Kajiado in the future. I had an opportunity one time to visit a number of universities in Canada and in the US, and we spoke about e-learning, where we want to tap into the global learning institution to teach in Kajiado. So that faculty out there are using technology to teach children in Kajiado. But that is at the TVET level, at the vocational training level. And so those two elements are part of Kajiado County endeavor to use technology to advance education. I have said before that the Maa Nation, the Maasai people, in their resistance to white rule, resisted modern education thinking it is got to do with the white people, and suffered immensely for being one of the communities with the largest illiterate population in the country. It is a misfortune that our parents suffered, a number of people in our generation suffered, and it is something that we do not want our children to suffer the same fate. It is in that spirit that we are deliberate in saying, what can we do so that the future younger generation will not go the path their fathers went, unknowing of the pitfalls that come with it in the future. And so, Dr. Uma, I want to say that Kajiado County government has begun a conversation to introduce young learners into data. Asante sana.
One of the things that can be done is a conference as such, like the one you've organized today. You've done a good job to bring all of us together. You heard what the PS said, that this is one of the beginnings of bringing this conversation to the fore, and also exploiting and availing opportunities that are there. The PS State Department of Diaspora also has mentioned that now we need to tailor-make opportunities for the diaspora, so that again we do not leave money on the table. Because in most cases we normally provide, mention the opportunities, but we don't tailor-make what the diaspora actually needs. So one takeaway is that let's tailor-make opportunities available in our country for the diaspora to exploit, including digital jobs, like you've mentioned, is an opportunity, and you've seen what other fellow Kenyans in the diaspora have come home to do. In Concert Technopolis, we'll tailor-make these opportunities and just present to the diaspora opportunities that are orderly, that they're able to invest in and take our country forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Those of you that have networks, what we can offer you are talented students who can carry out research for you. A lot of things that we end up applying to solve problems are driven by research. And one of the things that we have at hand in our universities, and especially here, is a group of eager, talented, keen students who can carry out research for you. That will help you get the data, but also train our students on how to be successful researchers. Number two, we would like you to help mentor our students. Give them an opportunity to see what it takes to learn the skill that you have. And a lot of institutions now, especially in the US, are looking for opportunities to grow their own faculty and students in internationalization. This is an opportunity to partner with us. And finally, we want you to come and use these wonderful facilities. The things that you are able to do here are not just these conversations, but also engaging with people in different contexts within the campus. That is what will make us a good host. Thank you very much.
Now, after that packed conversation, we will take our first break here on the TECHNOVATION show. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back with more. Welcome back. Remember, you are watching the TECHNOVATION show on KUTV. Continue engaging with us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Kemuma_Monari. We'll continue.
Let me respond to the VC by saying I really appreciate what the call that you're making for diaspora to find a home at USIU. This is a conversation we have very often with diaspora, particularly academics. And you know every academic is always looking for a home. So what I would propose for your kind consideration is for you to set up a diaspora center here, where academics who are looking either to do the research that you're talking about, are looking to teach a course during the summer, are looking for a home for their research project, and that kind of thing, that they can have that home. Very often in diaspora engagements, they say, we want to work with universities, but we don't have that link. So we would be very happy to work with you to help put together that diaspora center that would allow this to be a home for diaspora academics. Okay, if you would be willing. Now, let me say it this way. Diasporas are good for countries. Diasporas are really good for countries. I'll give 3 quick examples, and then I will let that be that. Everybody probably in this room has had a relative or friend going to India for medical care, probably. The healthcare system in India that we so depend on and that is famed around the world was built by their diaspora. The diaspora left, learned, pooled resources, pooled knowledge, skills, technology, and technology, transferred it back to India, built what is now a world-class healthcare system that we all depend on. That is the power of a diaspora. Second one, Ghana has harnessed this idea of identity tourism. Ghana gives particularly Black Americans the idea that they can find their roots or their home in this large homecoming tourism setup. And because of that, they even go to the extent where they give them identity documents, IDs, and citizenship. Because of that, they have opened up a whole new kind of tourism, or tourism industry that is built on going home to find your roots for people who have been disconnected from their heritage for hundreds of years. That's the power of the idea of a diaspora. P.S. Sanui already spoke about Korea. The third one I would say really, really quickly is Ireland. Ireland harnesses its diaspora quite shamelessly. They claim Barack Obama more than we claim him because his mother was of Irish descent. And they have used their diaspora to get political and economic advancements. When there was war in Northern Ireland, a big part of the interventions was to speak to the Irish across the world, including the Kennedys, American Kennedys who have Irish descent, to basically get help. And I've done the whole cycle of creating a product, going to market, trying to attract funding, and so on. Been in an incubator, done the whole thing. Where that process could improve is, or my sense is that Kenyan businesses are speaking to finance from people who do not understand Kenyan businesses. And for that reason, you find over and over and over again, you cannot get good funding for a tech business, or you can't get good funding for a startup unless you are speaking Silicon Valley language, unless you've acquainted yourself with private equity talk, until you're speaking to an audience that is not well aligned to the problem that you're trying to solve. And that has meant a lot of really good businesses have not been funded because they have not spoken the right way. I know a number of businesses who've gone off and hired a token white guy, sorry Bob, hired a token white guy just to be able to get to the door. I think this is well understood, this is well known. We talk about it in hush tones, but so that somebody has the right, can be heard. I also know that if you spend some time, for example, in the US, if you went to the right schools and so on, you might be able to access certain kinds of funding because there's that network going on. This is where I think the diaspora community and unlocking diaspora funds could make a big difference. because I don't have to contort myself in ways that don't make sense to me to convince a Kenyan who lives in Uganda, where is the Uganda diaspora, who we talked about, to convince a Kenyan who lives in Uganda who has funds to fund my business that is creating banana wine. He completely gets it. He understands the business model. He understands the solutions that I'm trying to create and the problem that I'm trying to solve. So I think because we have tried these tech hubs and we've tried this format, and sometimes funding will disappear when opportunities open up at home, as we have seen in post-COVID. It's important then that we think about what would a diaspora private equity fund look like? What are diaspora sources of funding that are looking to fund Kenyan-owned businesses or Kenyan startups look like? And how can we bring those two together? That is a conversation I would want to be a part of.
I said we need to come down and start that conversation. We already started it. I need us to talk about action. Let's take the action. If Sabot talk about diaspora center here, let's start it. Let's see what it takes. We can even contribute to make sure that happens. I need us to start a conversation. We love this country so much. I had a choice. I have a choice to stay in the US if I want. All these guys have choices to stay in the US, but they want to come back. They want, no one is asking them, they're paying, they're doing all these things to make sure this happens, right? So we want to start this conversation and start doing I came here, start my organization here, start my company here. Unditi does the same, right? But we want to do it as a response, pull the resources together to make sure what is that I'm doing that somebody else can come in so you can do it together. That's, otherwise we will not have conferences. It's the power of bringing us together. Okay, so we appreciate whatever it's doing, but again, we need to bring those guys together and do something even bigger than what they're doing.
Well, it's a wrap for us tonight on the TECHNOVATION show. Continue engaging with us on X at KUTV_Kenya. Find us on KUTV next time, same place. I have been Yvonne Kemuma. Thank you for being with us.